created so many things that people celebrate to this day, the Starrcades and the War Games and the Great American Bashes and so many different successes outside of the ring, just his creativity. But do you think creatively Dusty was just burnt out and maybe on fumes by that point, or was he just separated because there was Charlotte and Dallas and the distance created a problem?
Well, yes. And I don't think it was his fault. I think there again, our talent, we didn't have the talent that we needed to sustain what we were doing. We were in the midst of a rebuild.
Right.
So, we could have, but in hindsight, yes, we should have bypassed this pay-per-view, but we were already committed.
Right.
So you go through it and you have to rebuild. And we rebuilt so many times. You look at, the plane crash with Rick and I and John Valentine, so we had to have a tournament for the U.S. Championship.
Right.
Then golly, there was, it just was, the stars were not lining up for us. Well, I wish we had more time. We were just cash wise. We were just going. It was.
Yeah,
it was horrible. So, but talent. We could have Garvin. There again was a great talent, but he didn't have the charisma of a Ric Flair. That he in the ring, he was a tough sucker.
Right.
I mean, he would pound you like John Valentine, but he just didn't have that gift of gab. That he needed. He probably should have had somebody like
Dr. Death, Barry Windham.
Well, Barry self-exploded each time. Barry always he would get up there, then he'd leave. He would get right up there, and then for some reason he said, "I got to go." And this, Dusty built him up so many times, and then he left. So because Barry, yes, he had the work ethic, he had the camera presence. There again, he wasn't as good as Blackjack, as far as on the mic.
Yeah, on-screen presence, absolutely.
Yeah, but great talent, talent there.
Well, obviously Dusty had the charisma, but we had done Flair and Dusty countless times.
Yeah.
So
right.
you couldn't go back to that. Right.
Do that. Yeah, it was too many times.
Sure.
You had to find something, and Garvin was it.
So, in my research, I think I saw that Crockett joined the National Wrestling Alliance in '52. Is that right?
Could be. That sounds right. But but Vince McMahon Sr. was part of the national, the National Wrestling Alliance. So
right,
you had all these different groups that had their own group, but they were, I think probably the impetus for that was Sam Mushnick. Mm-hmm. That he was always I think until he passed away, that he was the president of the National Wrestling Alliance. And it was controlled from out there.
Right.
The South had really no say so.
Did you go to many of those meetings? Those are sort of famous, almost mob-like meetings now in hindsight, the way people talk about them.
I went. I know they had one in St. Louis because our mother packed us up. I think it might have been just younger brother Jackie and I. And we took the train to St. Louis for one of those meetings. And then I went with my father to Las Vegas a couple times, which, of course, I never saw what was going on because he'd always tell me, wait out here.
Right.
Always wait out here. and same thing with the arenas. He never, quote, smartened me up, so to speak. It was wait out here. And then he finally say, there is a hard way and a better way. Which would you rather do? So. But yeah, and then Jimmy was more involved with that, and former brother-in-law John Ringley, especially John was first, then Jimmy, and Johnny went with Dad at first. He was a talker, definitely a talker, good salesman, and then Jimmy was, Jimmy.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.